Biologists didn't expect to find this in the Amazon River. They were documenting wildlife in the Amazon River until the camera captured something no biologist was prepared to see. Today, we're counting down the most disturbing and unexplained discoveries recorded in the Amazon River, ranked from the least unsettling to the one that left even experts without answers. Are you ready? Let's begin. Number 20. The armored fish from the river. The footage was recorded in the Amazon River by a local fisherman who had just pulled an unusually large fish from the water. Lying across the boat, the animal's size is immediately striking. Its body appears massive and rigid, covered in thick scales that reflect light like metal. As the camera moves closer, the skin doesn't flex the way a normal fish's would. Instead, it looks layered, almost plated, as if forming a natural armor. Those watching compare it to something prehistoric, not aggressive, not moving much, just heavy, dense, and difficult to place within what's normally. Number 19. The shape in the current. The footage was recorded in the middle of the Amazon River by a group of navigators traveling downstream. As the boat advances, something unusual becomes visible ahead, moving against the current. At first, it appears to be a large, floating object, but its shape doesn't behave like a log. It shifts. It rises slightly, then settles again, creating a reaction of panic among those on board. Voices can be heard shouting, insisting it's not debris, that it looks alive. The boat slows and keeps its distance as the dark mass remains partially submerged, never fully revealing its form. The movement is irregular, not mechanical, not consistent with the flow of the river. The clip ends without the object being identified or approached. Was this a known animal seen under unusual conditions, or something else moving beneath the surface? Early in the countdown, the river already begins to feel unpredictable. Number 18. The cookie cutter bite. The footage and reports focus on a very small shark measuring only around 40 to 50 centimeters in length. Despite its size, this species is known for an unusual feeding method that has startled researchers and fishermen alike. Instead of tearing prey apart, it bites and removes perfectly round chunks of flesh. The wounds it leaves look clean and circular, as if cut with a tool. This is how it earned its name. Its teeth are extremely sharp, and its jaw moves with sudden speed, allowing it to detach pieces of meat from animals far larger than itself. The shark is typically associated with deep, dark waters, where visibility is limited. It is also known to emit a faint glow produced by its own body, a form of bioluminescence that may help it approach prey unnoticed. Some reports claim sightings connected to the Amazon River. Others question how such a creature could appear there at all. What remains clear is that the marks it leaves behind are very real and deeply unsettling. Number 17. The shape in the mud. The footage was recorded by a patrol moving through the Amazon mangroves during a routine inspection. The area is quiet, the ground thick with mud and stagnant water. Near the edge of the channel, something begins to rise, not suddenly, slowly. A form pushes up from the mud, coated in dark sludge, its shape difficult to define. It doesn't lunge or retreat. It simply remains there, partially emerged, facing the patrol. No attack follows. No sound is made. The figure appears to be observing, motionless, as if assessing what stands before it. Moments later, nearby sensors begin to fail without warning. Readings drop out. Equipment flickers. Then, just as quietly as it appeared, the shape sinks back into the mud. It doesn't swim away. It vanishes straight down, leaving the surface undisturbed. What was recorded in those mangroves was never explained. Number 16. The impact beneath the kayak. The footage was recorded by a man navigating calmly along the Amazon River. The water appears still, with no visible disturbance, as he films from inside his kayak. Suddenly, massive shapes move beneath the surface. Large forms glide past, their outlines barely visible through the dark water. Then, without warning, something collides with the kayak. The impact is strong enough to shake the camera violently. The water surges. The kayak tilts as the unseen mass passes beneath it. The filmer doesn't scream. He keeps recording as the movement continues for several seconds. then fades away just as abruptly. No creature ever breaks the surface completely. Moments later, the river returns to its calm state. The man manages to regain control and make it to safety without injury. The clip was shared online with a single caption, asking for an explanation. What struck that Kayak was never identified. Number 15. The shape on the sandbank. The footage was recorded along the Amazon River, near a sandy shoreline. A man filming the water notices something moving up from the edge of the river and focuses his camera. A small creature emerges onto the sand. Its body shape is difficult to place. At first glance, it resembles an iguana or a similar reptile, but its hind legs are not visible. Instead, a strange plumage begins at the back of its neck and trails behind it like a dragging cloak, colored in pale whites, yellows, and dark streaks. The head looks almost draconic, small but defined, with a wide mouth that opens far more than expected for its size, and ear-like shapes on the sides. The creature doesn't rush or attack. It simply moves forward briefly, then stops. Though small, its appearance feels deeply unsettling. Was this an unfamiliar animal, seen under rare conditions, or something that doesn't fit into known classifications? Number 14. The figure collecting stones. The footage was recorded along the edge of the Amazon River, where a small figure is seen standing near the shoreline. Partially hidden, the cameraman records from a distance as the figure moves slowly along the sand. It appears short and slender, wearing what looks like a brown cloak that drapes over its body. Its face is never visible. Instead, its attention seems fixed on the ground, carefully picking up stones one by one, counting or sorting them with deliberate movements. The figure never looks directly at the camera, yet its posture suggests awareness, as if it knows it's being watched. It pauses at moments, standing still before continuing its quiet task. No sudden movement occurs. No sound is heard beyond the river itself. The clip ends without the figure reacting or revealing its identity. Was this a person seen under strange conditions, or something else entirely, lingering by the river's edge? Number 13. The amphibian in the mangrove. The footage was recorded at night in a hidden section of the Amazon, where the river blends into dense mangroves. A man and his group film from a short distance, their lights barely cutting through the darkness. Standing ahead of them is a humanoid figure with amphibian features. It remains completely still, upright, its body slick and reflective, as if constantly wet. The shape of its limbs looks human, but the posture and texture feel out of place in the forest. For several seconds, nothing happens. No movement, no approach. Then the figure suddenly emits a sharp, unnatural scream. Without hesitation, it turns and runs toward the swamp, moving faster than expected. In one motion, it dives into the muddy water and disappears beneath the surface. The group doesn't follow. The camera keeps recording the empty mangrove, now silent again. What stood in front of them that night was never seen a second time. Number 12. The small figure on the rock. The footage was recorded by a group of young tourists as they were leaving the Amazon River after a day on the water. Near the shoreline, something unusual catches their attention. Standing on a rock is a tiny green figure, elderly in appearance, completely still. Its body looks frail and compact, with a posture that feels uncertain, almost confused. The figure doesn't gesture or react. It simply remains there, balanced on the stone, as if unsure of its surroundings. The camera keeps a cautious distance. No one approaches. No one speaks. For several seconds, the figure does nothing. No movement, no expression, no clear response to being filmed. Then the clip ends without showing what happens next. Was this a small animal seen from a deceptive angle? A person mistaken for something else? Or something out of place along the river? What stood on that rock remains unexplained. Number 11. The endless body in the river. The footage appears minutes after another sighting, filmed from an indigenous raft drifting along the Amazon. The water looks calm as the camera points toward the current. Then a massive form begins to cross the river. It doesn't surface all at once. A long, dark body moves beneath the water, stretching from one side to the other without revealing where it begins or where it ends. The surface ripples around it, as if the river itself is struggling to contain its size. The paddlers fall silent. No one speaks. No one moves closer. The shape continues forward at a steady pace, never lifting its head, never showing a tail. Only motion, only length. The clip ends with the form still crossing, unfinished. Those who filmed it seemed certain they were witnessing something out of time, something that shouldn't exist anymore. Was this an illusion of perspective, or a living body far larger than expected? Number 10. The figure in the flood. The footage was recorded during a rescue operation after severe flooding in the Amazon. Emergency responders scan the raging river when they notice a figure struggling against the current. At first, it looks like a man clinging to submerged rocks, breathing hard. But as the team moves closer, something feels wrong. The upper body appears human, tense and exhausted. Yet below the waterline, the shape changes. The lower half is broad and powerful, resembling a soaked, muscular animal body rather than human legs. The figure never calls for help. It grips the rocks, steady, as if resisting the river itself. One responder records as the figure suddenly turns its head, locking eyes with the camera. The gaze looks human, too human. Then, without warning, the figure releases its hold and vanishes into the muddy water. No splash, no trace. Was this a misidentified survivor under extreme conditions? Or something briefly surfacing during the chaos? What disappeared into that river was never recovered. Number 9. The captured figure on the boat. The footage was recorded after several nights of reports along the Amazon River. Locals claimed something was swimming upstream before dawn. Not a dolphin, not a known fish. They said its eyes glowed. They said it had a human face. That afternoon, a group of fishermen managed to trap something in reinforced nets. 4 of them struggled to lift it onto a small boat, chaining it down as it resists silently. Filmed from the shore, the figure lies motionless. Its skin is pale and stretched tight, corpse-like. Dark rings surround its eyes, which remain open and unblinking. The upper body looks human, dressed in a torn shirt from another time. Below the waist, thick, dark scales form a powerful tail. Not quite a fish, not quite anything familiar. As one man speaks to it, the water around the boat begins to darken. Bubbles rise. A low hum builds beneath the hull. The clip ends before anything else surfaces. Number 8. The bag from the Marsh. The footage was recorded in the Biberza marshes of eastern Poland by birdwatchers, using a motion camera near a dark stream. The frogs had gone silent long before anything appeared. From the mud, a slick gray figure slowly emerges. Its skin shines wet under the camera's light. Wide, fish-like eyes stare forward. The body is humanoid, but the head and torso seem fused, with no clear neck. It drags itself using webbed hands, digging into the muck as if struggling to leave the water. Clenched in its mouth is not a fish, but a swollen cloth bag. When the figure notices the camera, it doesn't flee. It sinks back down, maintaining eye contact until fully submerged. Reviewing the footage later, the group notices something else. Before disappearing, the figure releases the bag. A week later, another team finds a similar bag kilometers downstream. Inside is not wildlife, only an old, faded photograph of a lake. What moved through those marshes was never identified. Number 7. The Devil's Back. The footage was recorded along an Amazon River tributary in Brazil, where locals had long spoken of something they called El Lomo del Diablo. Reports included lost livestock, overturned canoes, and missing fishermen, but no clear images. After several animals were killed in the same week, a group of experienced hunters set reinforced steel traps along the water. Before dawn, an alarm was triggered. When they arrived, a large figure was found caught in a twisted metal net. It stood upright on 2 legs, over 2 meters tall. Its torso looked muscular and primate-like, while its head appeared reptilian, with an elongated snout, curved teeth, and a constantly moving tongue. The figure resisted being moved, then advanced only when it stopped struggling. It showed no fear. As one man shouted toward it, the environment reportedly changed. Wind dropped, the water slowed, everything felt suspended. When the moment passed, deep markings were visible in the mud nearby, forming a single word. What was trapped there was never officially identified. Number 6. The Bound Watcher. The footage was recorded during a river patrol in a swampy section of the Amazon after reports of missing livestock and fishermen. Between tall reeds and thick mud, the team hears a low, rhythmic growl, like restrained breathing. They find a tall figure kneeling, partially submerged. Its hands are bound with a thick rope, held in place by heavy nets, as if it had already been captured. No one admits to touching it. The being stands over 2 meters tall, with dark, wet, scaly skin. Its face blends predatory features with an unfamiliar symmetry, eyes fixed and alert. Its claws are pressed together, almost prayer-like, yet its posture shows constant vigilance. As a phone zooms in, the audio distorts. A deep, layered voice bleeds into the recording. This was not meant to be seen. A metallic hum fills the air. Birds lift off in silence. The mud begins to bubble. The figure doesn't resist. It turns toward the camera and smiles. Number 5. The Guide and the River Creature. The footage was recorded beside a shallow Amazon stream, where the muddy water barely reaches a guide's knees. He moves slowly, carefully, holding a white bucket and murmuring words that sound like quiet pleas. Behind him, a creature follows with difficulty. Its body appears half human, half river fish. The skin is slick, brownish-green, and its face resembles that of a massive catfish, with long whiskers swaying as it breathes heavily. The creature stops every few steps. A deep, wet sound escapes it, like a low lament. Its torso is strong, but covered in mud, moss, and scars that look old. The camera remains fixed on a rock, capturing the scene without zoom. Insects buzz, branches crack, water gurgles under the creature's weight. The guide signals for silence, then gently touches the creature's back. According to locals, it was found trapped near a polluted bend in the river. What was being led through that stream remains uncertain. Number 4. The Giant Skull Beneath the River. The discovery was made along the Amazon River, where scientists uncovered a massive fossil skull buried in ancient sediment. At first, it appeared to belong to a dolphin, but its size immediately raised questions. The skull is far larger than that of any modern river dolphin. Its jaw structure suggests immense strength, built for hunting in prehistoric waterways. Researchers identified it as belonging to Pebenista yacaruna, a species believed to have dominated South American rivers millions of years ago. The proportions don't match today's Amazon. Its existence points to deeper, wider rivers, and predators far larger than anything swimming there now. What's most unsettling isn't just its size, but where it was found, in a region still inhabited by modern dolphins. If creatures like this once ruled these waters, it forces a reconsideration of how different and how dangerous the ancient Amazon truly was. And it raises a quiet question. What else might still be hidden beneath the riverbed? Number 3. The Vertical Rise. The footage was recorded by local fishermen using handmade nets along the Amazon River. One of them points toward the water after noticing an unusual disturbance near the surface. Within seconds, every phone is recording. From the river, something begins to rise vertically. It has the shape of a fish, but its posture is almost human. It isn't swimming upward. It appears to be lifted from below, as if pushed by something unseen. Its body is covered in thick green scales. A rigid, bony crest runs along its back, breaking the surface like reptilian fins. The jaw is clenched tightly, as if holding something inside. Water around it pulses in spirals, slamming against the muddy bank. The air fills with the smell of old mud and moss. The creature makes no sound, but breathes rapidly, as if exhausted. Suddenly, it turns its head slightly, reacting to something no one else can hear. Then it plunges back into the river. The water calms instantly. What rose from that river was never identified. Number 2. The Face in the Water. The footage was recorded at night along the edge of the Amazon River. A man films the dark surface when something suddenly breaks through the water nearby. At first, he thinks it's a floating rock. Then the beam of his flashlight catches a face. What emerges looks like a fish, its body swollen and barely moving, struggling to breathe. But its features are unsettlingly human. The eyes remain open, unblinking. The mouth opens and closes slowly, as if the effort itself is exhausting. The man stops speaking. Only the sound of the river remains, along with his uneven breathing. The creature doesn't thrash or attack. It simply floats there, half exposed, holding its position at the surface. For several seconds, nothing changes. Then the light shifts, and the figure sinks back under the water without a splash. The recording ends there. Number 1. The predator on the riverbank. The footage was recorded from an aerial perspective over a section of the Amazon River during daylight. The camera captures the shoreline as a massive reptile emerges from the water. On the riverbank lies another large crocodilian, already motionless. The animal coming from the water is significantly larger. Its body is dark, heavily armored, with a tall, ridged back and powerful tail still partially submerged. The larger creature has its jaws clamped onto the body of the other reptile. Blood is visible on the sand near the point of contact. There is no struggle shown, only slow, forceful movement as the larger animal pulls itself further onto land. The surrounding area is quiet. No people are visible. No sudden camera movement occurs. The clip lasts only a few seconds, ending with the larger reptile firmly holding its prey on the riverbank. What the camera captured is brief, direct, and unexplained.